It was interesting because when we joined forces with Mary Freebed, I had the opportunity to go over there and see how they run things, and I was specifically following around an OT for the day. And they have a lot of robotics out there, and as therapists we know that it takes thousands of repetitions for the stroke arm to make really good recovery. So the robotics, they have that way of getting those thousands of repetitions in. So when I came back to Mary Freebed here at Sparrow, I was trying to figure out a way where we can get those much needed repetitions in. So I started doing some research and was looking into a supplementary program for upper extremity practice, and I ran into this online. Everybody's different in their stroke recovery, so it will be modified. The therapist will give the patient what level they should be at, and the number of repetitions and any modifications that need to be done. We know that in order to build neuroplasticity or to get that motor planning to occur after the stroke, it requires high repetitions. So the first one is just an arm stretch. We're just going to warm up and stretch the arm out. So what you want to do is just sit back in a chair, and you're going to just slowly reach down, and you're just going to relax your arms, let them hang loose, and just relax and get a good stretch in the back and the arms. And you're just going to hold it for 10 seconds. Okay, and then you're just going to come up slowly, and you're going to do that about 2 times just to get stretched. The next one, I'm going to warm up the shoulders, and this one's called a shoulder shrug. And you're going to count for 3, and then you're just going to relax. And you're going to bring them back up and hold it for 3 and relax, and you're going to do that about 10 times. Now some patients have difficulty lifting the arm up, so a couple ways to modify that is by having it on an chair arm with some pillows to take the weight off the shoulder, or using a mirror in front of them so they can make sure they're actually getting that full shoulder shrug up. You're going to clasp your hands together. If the stroke arm, the hand is hard to clasp, you can grab your wrist right here, okay? You want to clasp your hands and just pull your arm and shoulders out like this, okay, with your back against the chair. And then you're just going to rotate and hold it for 3. And then you're going to rotate and hold it for 3. And you do that for 5 repetitions. Okay, the next one is the hand and wrist stretch. You're going to place your hands together like this, and you're just going to stretch one side out for 3 seconds, and then you're going to pull it to the other side and stretch for 3 seconds. If the stroke hand if it's hard to open, you can keep it clasped like this and stretch this way. Push-ups, you're going to put your hands flat on the table. Again, if your hand won't open up, you can keep it in a fisted position. But try to keep your hands open up, and you're going to lean into the table like this. And you want to hold it for 5 seconds, and then you're going to push away. So the goal is to try to put as much weight through your stroke arm as you can. And then you're going to push away with the arms as much as you can. This also helps to work on trunk control. Okay, and you'll do that for a repetition of 5. So the next one is a one-arm push-up. You're going to use put your stroke-affected arm on the table, and you can use your strong arm to put it over your wrist like this, okay, to help stabilize the wrist. And again, you're going to just lean into the table and hold it, and you're going to push yourself back up, and you're going to lean into the table, trying to put as much weight through your hand as you can, and count for 5, and then you pull yourself back up. The next exercise are chair push-ups. You're going to put your hands on a chair, and you're going to try to put as much weight and use your arms as you can versus the legs. And you're just going to push yourself up in a chair, and you're going to hold it for 3, and then you're going to bring it back down. And then you're going to push it back up and hold it for 3, and then down for 3. The next exercise is for strengthening, shoulder exercise. I'm using a bottle of water here, and that can be modified for strength level. If you don't have enough grip, then I suggest you use a wrist weight around your wrist. But what you'll do is you'll just go up for 3, 1, 2, 3, and down for 3. And you'll go up for 3 and down for 3. Now this is difficult, so a lot of times we'll see the patients want to hike right here. So to try to prevent that, you can put your good arm on top of your weak shoulder to kind of guide you not to hike. But if you still hike, it's okay, do what you can. You don't want to go past shoulder height, okay? You don't want to go past 90 degrees. You want to stay at this level. The next one is you're going to move the shoulder out to the side. You're going to hold the bottle of water or use the wrist weight, and you're just going to go out to the side like this and then down for 3. Now you want to remember you only want to go up to shoulder height and not above, and down for 3. The next one is for your elbow. You're going to come up to the table and have your forearm on the table, and you're just going to lift your elbow up, and you're going to hold it up for 3 and down for 3. Up for 3 and down for 3. Now you can use a wrist weight like I have, or if you have the grip, I would recommend that you use the bottled water or a 1-pound weight. These next ones are for your wrist. The first one, you'll just keep the wrist on the table, and then you're going to just lift your wrist up and hold it for 3 and down for 3. Now, if you don't have full range of motion, we might not have you use any weights at the time, but if and when your therapist will let you know. But you're going to go up for 3 and down for 3. I would suggest you using your strong arm and place it across your forearm to prevent the forearm from lifting up, because we just want pure wrist movement at this point. For the next one, you want your wrist hanging off of a table, or you can put it on a binder to let it hang off, okay? And then you want to use either your weight or without weight, depending on what your therapist tells you. Put your good arm over your forearm of your weaker hand, and you're just going to lift up for 3 and down for 3, and up for 3 and down for 3. The next one is working on hand strengthening with the hand gripper. You just want to squeeze it for 3 and relax for 3. Make sure that you actually relax and open the hand up, and you want to do these nice and slow. All the exercises actually you want to do nice and slow. Count for 3, relax for 3, okay? We're going to be working on finger strengthening. We're going to use some TheraPutty. Different colors have different resistance, so that will be assigned by your therapist. So what you want to do is you want to roll the putty out into a rope. Try to do it with the stroke hand. If not, and if it's frustrating, use your stronger arm. All right, once you get it rolled out like that, you're going to take each finger and you're just going to press down into the TheraPutty. Try not to hyperextend, and you're going to just alternate. You don't want to forget about the thumb. And then you'll wrap it and roll again and do the number of sets that are assigned by your therapist. The next one is called the twist. It's with your TheraPutty. You want to put the putty on the table and roll it into a thick rope. Once you've done that, using your thumb and index and middle finger of your weaker hand, you're going to take the putty and you're going to twist it and twist along the rope of the putty. Okay, and then you'll fold it back up. Use your stroke arm, hand, and use your thumb, index, and middle, and you're going to twist, while your non-affected arm is just going to stabilize the putty. Okay? You're going to roll the putty into a ball with your stroke hand, Once you do that, you're going to place it in your strong hand, and then you're going to take your stroke hand and you're going to just individually take each finger and thumb, and you're just going to drill the putty, or drill your finger into the putty. And try not to hyperextend. This is working on some really good individual finger strengthening for all those fine motor and manipulation activities we need to do. With your TheraPutty on the table, you want to take it and flatten it out on the table, which can be a little difficult depending on the type of resistance of putty you have. So go ahead and use your strong hand to do that. Okay, once you get it flattened out, like a piece of meat or chicken, you want to just take your utensils and you want to hold them however you normally do. So place, it doesn't matter, you just want the natural way you hold your silverware. Okay, and then you're just going to practice actually cutting the putty and making even cuts with the putty, like so. Okay. The next one is called the waiter cup. I love this exercise for so many reasons. You want to take a cup. If you can't grasp the cup like this, you can grab it like this. If you can't pick up the cup yet, you could also use a beanbag, depending on where you are in your stroke recovery. But for purposes of the demonstration, I'm going to use the cup. And I'm going to actually grab it like this. And you're going to place it on the target, open, put your hand back in your lap, grab it, reach for it, put it on the next target, open your hand up. It has to come all the way back into your lap. So we're working on functional reach and grasp and release of the stroke arm. Also working on proximal and distal control. So you want to grab the cup, move it to the next one. All these exercises can be modified. If this is too much for you to be able to reach up this high, it can be brought down lower to you, so you're working more with in a gravity eliminated plane. If this cup is too flimsy, you can use firmer cups to help grip if your sensory, depending on your sensory input. So there's multiple ways that these exercises can be modified, and you talk to your therapist about that, and they will be able to help modify this exercise if it's not working for you at this time. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the other one. You're going to put the target board down on the floor. Love this exercise. Your therapist will assess you to see if you are able to do this on your own. You're going to take your good arm and you're going to hang on to the chair, and then with your stroke arm you're going to reach down and put the cup down like this. You're going to open your hand up, release. You got to come all the way back up. No cheating. We're also working on trunk control here. So you got to bend all the way back down, pick the cup up, place it on the target, open the hand up, come all the way back up. And then you'll do it all the way through. You're going to work with both arms, and this is such a wonderful exercise because it's so functional too. What you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 cups, you're going to have some water in 1 cup, and you're going to pour it into the other hand. And then you're going to do it the same with this. Now, if you can't do it with water, you could put paper clips in here. But if you can do it with water, do it with water, because we try to make the task as functional and real life as possible. So this is a great bimanual activity. I see a lot of patients when they first start doing this and they're not able to do it, and actually they've spilt it a couple times on them, which that's okay. They learn real quickly to use their vision if their hand lacks a sensation. And by the end of them pouring, maybe 10 times, you'll see that coordination and the integration is really coming along. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do is we're going to work on with the tennis ball. Go ahead and put your strong arm just in your lap. So just get it out of the way. You want to put your stroke arm up on the table, and you're either going to try to roll or push the ball to your partner. And you're going to go back and forth with this and do this 20 times. And then when you're done with that, you're going to go back and forth and do it quickly as you can 20 times. Now, if this is too easy, what you can do is put your hand in your lap, your stroke hand. Go ahead and roll it to me, and then grab it. Put your hand back down in your lap, and then grab it. So that's a good way to modify and grade the activity up. Just going to roll the ball back and forth, or slide it if you have to. Back and forth into your hand, okay, like so. If this is too difficult, you're not able to grasp, you can also use a bean bag, and if you just are actually even sliding it, that's where you start. So with your non-affected hand, you're going to hang onto the ball, and then you're going to put your stroke hand in your lap. You're going to roll it and then bring the stroke hand up. Put it back in your lap, roll it, bring it up. This is pretty advanced, so if you can't do this quite yet, that's okay. You just do another set of the other exercises before that with the ball. And just do what you can. Okay, this next one is called drop and catch. You want to take your strong arm and hang on to a bean bag like this, and put your stroke hand on the table, and you're just going to catch it. Do what you can. This is a tough one. To make it a little harder, you could use a ball, but you'd probably want somebody right there with you to get the ball for you, especially if you're doing it on inpatient rehab because you can't get up out of your wheelchair by yourself. And then you'll do that 10 times, okay? And then you're going to switch, and you're going to take your stroke affected hand and do that 10 times. Okay. This one is a toughie, but it's fun. The next one is you're going to bounce the ball to a partner with your stroke hand, of course. If this is too hard, then you can throw the bean bag like such. This would be great if young kids help out. They love helping out. We're going to practice buttoning for fine motor. So you're going to put a shirt on that has some buttons. If you need help putting this shirt on, have somebody help you out. And then you're just going to actually button the shirt up and unbutton it, okay? Now to modify this one's pretty hard because these are small buttons. You could use larger buttons. You could practice with zips, you know, tennis shoes, you know, practice tying tennis shoes. Any of these activities that you do for dressing would be wonderful. With your strong arm, you're going to hold the cup in the hand to stabilize it. With your stroke hand, you're going to pick up clothespins and you're going to pinch it and place it on the cup, like such. So to modify this, the level of resistance that you use for clothespins, to make it easier or obviously harder, okay? I just want to say that we use whatever we have here, so it might not be exactly what the exercise shows, but it will be the same concept. Okay, so the next one is stacking, and I have some poker chips here. And what you're going to do is you're just going to take the poker chip and you're going to stack it with the stroke hand, okay? To make this harder, you could use quarters, nickels, dimes, like such, okay? You're going to take your stroke affected hand, you're going to pick the stick up and you're going to place it in the cup, okay? And once you put all the sticks in the cup, you're going to take your stroke affected hand, grab the cup and turn it over to dump the sticks out. The styrofoam cups are quite difficult for a lot of my stroke patients to use because they are not real firm. So we usually give patients plastic cups, and depending on the size. So a smaller rounded firm cup is much easier to grip than a larger one that's styrofoam. But this is a good way to modify it if the plastic is too easy. We always want to challenge the patient. If something is easy, then there's no need to do it. It has to be challenging, so you're going to mess up on these repetitions. If you do something correctly with no problem 5 times, then you need to modify it and move up. It has to be challenging. The next one is called the paperclip chain. You're going to put the cup on the table, and then you're going to use your weaker hand, and you're going to place each paperclip one at a time into the cup. Once you get them all in there, you're going to dump them over, use your stroke affected hand, dump them out, and then you're going to take both hands and you're going to chain them together. Now these are quite advanced fine motor exercises, so if you're not able to do it at this time, go back and do another fine motor exercise that is challenging but yet doable. Once you get them chained, then you'll go back through and unchain them. The next one, we're going to use poker chips. You're going to take your stroke affected hand, you're going to pick the poker chip up and turn it over. We try not to slide it off and use the table to do it, okay? So you need to be able to pick it up, turn it over, pick it up, turn it over, like such. And then you want to try to do it as quickly as you can, okay? The next one, you're going to be using some household items that you have around the house or that we give you here on inpatient rehab. You're going to use your stroke affected hand and grab the item, and then with your stronger hand you're going to twist and then tighten it back up and then take it back off. Now this is quite a large item I have here, so to modify it, use smaller ones. Then what you're going to do is you're going to switch hands, stabilize it with your strong hand, and then manipulate the cap with the stroke hand, okay? So there's this one. Different varying sizes we'll have you use, okay, like that. To modify it, these are empty. We could add weight by water, adding water, different ways to modify. Last but not least, we're going to end it with taking the towel and drying off. All right, so you just want to place the towel on the table. You'll fold it in half lengthwise. This is perfect towel size right here. You just want to place your hands on the towel and bring it in back of you like this, okay? And then you just want to go back and forth. Move the towel back and forth across your neck like you are drying off after a shower, okay? You can modify it, work on moving down and up. These exercises are going to help to increase range of motion, strengthening, fine motor coordination, trunk control. So I hope you enjoy, and I wish you much success.